In February, we had a pretty dramatic spike in intentionally set fires in the neighborhood again. And because of our communication with the school and the school resource officers, the police, there were some indications about kids that were involved in the behavior. But what to do about it, right?
Research shows that there is generally 7 years of warning leading up to certainly a violent offense, something enough for a child or youth to be on the police radar. And we see, you know, roughly around birth, we're seeing sometimes domestic violence, domestic problems in the home that we're responding to. We see then spinning out of that, kids running away. We see then spinning out of that property crime, small-time theft. We see arsons. We see this build-up leading up to an full-blown violent offense from an offender. So we work directly with the schools, school psychologists, school counselors to try and deal with the fire as opposed to just reacting to the smoke all the time. If we keep just fanning the smoke and reacting and responding to the smoke, which is the antisocial behavior, we're just making the fire worse because we're fanning the fire too. So we really want to get at the fire. What's the problem? Usually our biggest problem in the youth that we'll deal with is a lot of them are chronic runaways. So our biggest problem half the time is just finding them. Some of them are abused, some of them have just like parents that have substance abuse problems. So they might not know a different way of life. We have youth prostitutes as young as 12 years old that we've seen in Regina. And we're talking about kids who've watched mom go out and work as a street worker herself. So, and they don't know a lot of different ways of life. So it's just, you just claw to kind of keep your head afloat. And they've seen more at 12 years old than most of us have seen by the time we're 40. So they're very streetwise and very smart that way, and they know how to survive.
Coming from a police background, I mean, all of the research shows that the earlier you get to these young folks who are exhibiting risk, the better chance you have of turning them around. So if we can get these young folks going in the right direction at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years of age and keep them out of the criminal justice system, that's, for me, that's a huge crime prevention approach, I guess. As we've worked through it now, as my involvement has been increased over the last number of months, it's more than that though. It's more than crime prevention. Crime prevention is one aspect of it, but it's really about stabilizing these families and trying to reduce the use of public services, like government services. So can we reduce the amount of social services that our people are using for the young kids? Can we keep them out of those systems by getting them turned around at a young age and getting them going in the right direction, which of course education plays a large part in, right? If we can keep the kids in school and they get a good education and get good jobs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, then that keeps them out of the social services sort of side of it. So I certainly, when I started, saw it as and still see it as a large crime prevention initiative, but also it's much broader than that.